So I'm going to try to give a short little tour before we get the heat tomorrow, because I think things are not going to look quite as good after tomorrow. The good, the bad, the ugly. Okay, so here's our leeks. I think they've grown a little bit, not as much as I had expected. Our onions are not doing well at all. I think they're not getting enough sun in this area. The sun is hitting that area the most. Obviously, the peppers are doing okay, actually growing, developing, and turning red like they're supposed to. So I think we may end up having to move, rearranging our food beds, our raised beds. May have to put that over there. It's probably a little bit too late for this year already, because these should be like at least as tall as the leeks, if not as tall as the peppers by now. So I think it might be too late for our onions this year. And we are getting some blackberries, and we had some golden raspberries, but a critter ate them all before I could get them. And I don't know how this beautiful sunflower got in our marionberries, but it looks pretty. And the marionberries are, you can't see much from out front, but there's actually a couple vines that are hanging down below. We still need to build our climbing trellises for them, so they don't do that. But there's marionberries on the bottom vines that are in the back. And this raspberry here, I think, is just not getting enough sun in this corner, so might have to change things and move things up a little bit. Over here, where we planted the squash and pumpkins and zucchini, the seeds are doing okay. Those are some pumpkin seeds. The ones in the middle, I believe, are more pumpkin seeds. And then back there's the squash, the summer squash. So they're doing okay. Still, I think, especially these over here, are not getting quite as much sun as they should. So this is probably not going to be a sun area where things need like 8 or more hours of sun. It's just not enough sun here, I think. And that's pretty much the problem I have everywhere in this yard, is there's just not enough sun in certain spots. Here, this is getting sun most of the day. The only reason it's not too sunny right now is the sun is behind the clouds and it's starting to peek out a little bit. But you can see some of my seedlings are doing okay, and the ones that were older are doing okay. I would say maybe 50% of them have made it. The Gara is sort of bouncing back. I'm not even sure I recorded myself planting the Gara or these carnations. The dianthus, I think I just planted it without recording. And not very many seeds here have made it. I think this little corner here is forgotten to get watered. So we'll go to the front yard. Okay, and now we're around to the front. And here's the hanging baskets with the saffron finch, the double magic grapefruit super bells, and the new cool jazz super petunias for this year. I'm not super impressed with the super bells in general, not just this. These are actually doing okay right here. Perhaps it's because I put them in the same container as the petunias, which the petunias need more water and the super bells don't. So that could be part of it. Most likely is. They're super pretty. They're just not as, what is the word I'm looking for? Abundant, flourishing as the petunias. They're just not, they don't give a wow factor as much as the petunias. And you can see the geranium, the zonal geraniums, annuals, that lasted through the winter last year, are doing just great. Saffron finch looks okay. They're a little slower than I'd like, simply because we ended up getting some sort of bugs on them, and we had to cut them all back and water them down, spray the bugs off, and they've bounced back, but they're not as big as they probably should be this time of year, but they're looking okay. These annuals are done. I need to just cut those back. And we found out that previous owners had some of these little dahlias planted in here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, and I actually think there was probably 5, maybe even 6, and I pulled them out this winter when I was weeding, not knowing what they were. Oh well. We're gonna put another peony right there anyway. Another Bartzilla if we can get our hands on one. These are the banana cream daisies from Proven Winners. They are now almost done at the end of their life. They were yellow, thus the name banana cream, but they're so pretty and I love these so much, and I'm not sure what is going on with that one. It looks like it's wet. I don't know if the dripper's not going off and my husband just now watered it, or if some sort of bugs are getting to it. I'm going to have to ask him. Yeah, more zonal geraniums and saffron finch. And then the that's the firelight, the sunshine yarrow. This one's the fuchsia. It's just now starting to bloom. My annual baskets are looking pretty. This agapanthus just started to open up and bloom 2 weeks after I had hoped it would. But this one bloomed on time for July 4th, and now this one's done. It looks like I need to... No, they're starting to get new blooms. The bacopa is starting to get new blooms, but it looks like the begonias back there are getting burnt. So I might need to put that in a little bit more shade. The Vermillionaire is doing great, and I'm telling you, if you love hummingbirds, plant some Vermillionaire. The hummingbirds love it. There's not a day that goes by that I don't see a hummingbird out here in this area. Between the salvia and the Vermillionaire, this bed is loved by the hummingbirds. The yarrow is almost, yellow yarrow is almost done. And so is the salvia, actually. They have been blooming great for the last month at least. And maybe I'll get another flush of them in the fall when the heat starts to die down. We are now entering our heat season, mid-July through August pretty much. This other Vermillionaire is looking good. Sorry about that. I actually just dropped the camera. And then so here is... It's now been, I would say, maybe 5 weeks since I planted this. I think you guys, it was only 2 weeks ago that I showed it, but maybe even 3. As you can see, the super bells here, the smitten pink, they are not doing well. And I'm not sure if it's because they're being crowded out by the super petunias or what. They didn't look as good from the beginning as the other ones, but I think I might have gotten a week of blooms on them and then they were done. So I don't know if something's eating them or what. This container doesn't get as much water as it probably should. Maybe that's why, but from what I know, I thought the super bells were okay with being dried out first before you watered them. I mean, if that was the issue, I would think that the super petunias would not be doing as good. But anyway, as you can see, the jazzberry, the Vista Jazzberry, and this Vista Pink Cloud. Oh my goodness, I love the Pink Cloud. I think it might be my new favorite. I think I like that more than the Cool Jazz, to be honest. It's holding up for now against the Jazzberry. I'm really glad I only planted 1 Jazzberry and not 2, because otherwise this whole container would probably just be Jazzberry. But I'm loving the Pink Cloud here. And I think it would have looked really nice with that kitten pink Calibrachoa, that color of pink right in front of it, but it is not doing great. And so far, the Jazzberry and the Safari Dust, James Britannia, in the ground are doing great. I think this salvia is called Snow and Ice, and it is almost done as well. And that is our candy corn spirea in the back. It'll come into its full glory in the fall. And that is just a little Japanese maple seedling that I didn't pull out. These 2 are some dahlias that I planted. Tubers that are actually popping up. Will they bloom in time? I don't know. Probably not getting enough sun in this area. This is some goldenrod, and that is a penstemon, and I am not sure what's in front of that. It almost looks like a hosta, but I have no clue what type. I did not plant it. It just popped up here later on. And then my coneflowers, I believe that's the wildberry coneflowers. And then the thyme is still alive, and some lavender back here. And it doesn't get as much sun back here as I had hoped or thought. So that is why they're not quite as big and proliferous, is the word I was looking for those super bells. They're not as proliferous as the super petunias. But anyway, none of these are quite as proliferous as they probably would be if they were getting more sun. I'm gonna need to trim back this tree and probably this tree in certain branches for that to happen. And some of my roses are still blooming on their second flush, but look at the Queen Elizabeth. That's the tall one in the middle. Oh my goodness, it's so gorgeous right now. It's been gorgeous for about 3 weeks now. It finally has bloomed to its glory. And then this Princess Alexandra of Kent, that bloom is at the end of its life. But look at the super petunias up front. I warned my husband. I said, are you sure you don't want 3 times as many tiara blue as the whiteout? Because the white's going to take over. And sure enough, that is exactly what's happening. You can barely see the blue, at least from the street. You can see it better back here, but I mean, look at this. This is like a sea of white. It's just covering the tiara blue, which I knew was going to happen, but this was his planting thing, so I let him do that. And let's see what else is blooming up here. This hydrangea is starting to, the limelight prime. One of the ones we pulled out of the circle garden is starting to bloom up front. It's getting more sun than the ones in the back. And I've got a couple of the swan marigolds blooming, and they're just so tiny. It's just not getting enough sun out here. Sorry about that car. These swan marigolds are just not getting enough sun out here. But they're so pretty. I mean, look at that color of yellow. It's just that beautiful, pale, soft color. Oh, love it. And then the cashmere, they are surprisingly doing well. Even though I think they could also use a little bit more sun. But there's another ladybug. We released ladybugs 2 weeks ago. And I think that's what helped our super petunias, the saffron finch. Anyway, our rose leaves were starting to turn yellow and everything, and I knew it was aphids. So you can see a few yellow leaves, but for the most part the ladybugs have taken care of that issue. We'll probably reorder some here again in another week or two. But look at this. I just love the Ribena, and some of the basil is doing well. I mean, they're starting to grow. They're doing better than the marigolds. They're getting more sun than the marigolds, but they're still not as big as I had hoped they would get, because basil's an annual here. It's not going to last all winter, so this is its only year of growing. If it was going to be a perennial, I'd be okay with it growing slow, but I'm not sure we're going to get to see it at its full potential here. But they all made it. They are getting some sun, but not as much as they probably need. And the lavender in between the roses, they're almost done as well. That Scepter d'Isle, guys, I'm telling you, I think Scepter d'Isle and Princess Anne are at my top favorites. The Scepter d'Isle, not because of smell, but just because of looks, and it is blooming like literally all season long. I don't think there's been a week without a bloom on this since the 1st of May. So, loving this one. I love the Princess Anne. It smells good. She doesn't bloom all season, but she smells good, and she's absolutely beautiful. And then I think another one of my favorites obviously is Gertrude Jekyll, even though she's thorny, probably the second thorniest rose that I have come across. Harlow Carr is the first, but she's definitely a pretty bad one as far as thorns go. But she smells excellent, she looks excellent, she blooms a lot. And then there's this. This is not David Austin. This is a Leonardo da Vinci, and this one is gorgeous. It's so pretty. It doesn't smell, but it blooms well, and I love the foliage on this. The foliage on this is so pretty. It's just so tinier and petite than most of the other rose foliage. So I think that's going to be in my top 5 as well, just as far as favorites. And I don't know what is going on with my James Galloway, but can you see the top of this one here? I'm not sure you can. There we go. It has just like, there's one stem that has just kind of taken off, and it's got, I'm gonna have to tie it down. Now is not necessarily the right time to do that, I don't think, but look at how tall that is. It's gorgeous. Loving that one. Oh, and then this is not Queen of Stone. Uh-oh, I got some thrips. I'm not usually too concerned with, oh, and there's a spider going after him. I don't know if that's a spider. Might. Anyway, there's something going after my thrips. Have at it, little spider. Anyway, that smells good too. Yeah, that smells really good, and I forget which one this is. I'll think of it and get back to you. Let's see if we can see what the yard looks like from the street. More blooms on the Annick rose. The only way I can remember that is panic. It's panic without the A, or without the P. Panic rose. Okay. It looks pretty from the street. Look how gorgeous this is. Oh, I can't believe this is my yard. I'm just so thrilled. Yeah, and that pretty much does it for the front. We'll have to go back and take a look at the herbs on a different video. This one's getting a little bit long. And there's a couple things I'm not quite ready to show you yet. And as you can see, I've got more flowers to plant. I'm gonna put some in this bed. I might put some in the back. I think I am going to plant those dahlias where the basil are. Maybe. And then the Monarda, it's almost done. Oh my goodness. They really need to get in the ground. Look at that. They are desperate to get in the ground. I got to get to that real quick. Oh, the Golden Celebration, they're almost done blooming. Oh, they smell good too, in a different way though. Less sweet, maybe more myrrh scented. And that's going to be it for this tour, because there's a couple parts I'm not quite ready to show you yet. But quickly before we go, I forgot to show these containers, and I think they're absolutely gorgeous. With the coleus that I think is called Pink Ribbons, the Silver Falls Dichondra, the double Rocapoco Rose Impatiens, and some Bacopa. That's going to be it for today, guys. Thanks for watching. And until next time, feed the pollinators for me.